I was glad that you asked me to talk about this because I really feel that the Kaukau Tin is an artifact of significant historical and cultural value that is representative of the plantation experience. It is more than a lunch pail. And I think we need to understand the history of it. The Kaukau Tin was actually introduced by the first generation of Japanese laborers, the Ise, that came to or brought to Hawaii by the sugar planters to work in the cane fields. When they were first brought to Hawaii, they had Filipino camps and Japanese camps. So when you first were brought to the island, you were assigned to a certain housing area with your ethnic group. And people naturally spend time with their group and the familiarity of the same language and the same cultures. So they knew very little about the other ethnic groups because they just didn't speak the same language and have the same customs. But there was one place that they had to integrate, and that is when they went to work. So when they went to work, they worked in the fields, doing the same labor, going through the same hardships. But when it came to lunchtime, they could sit together. So there was a sharing of cultures and an understanding that came from sharing the Kaukau Tin. The way it worked is that the bottom portion is where you put the rice. So everyone put their rice on the bottom portion. And in the top, they would put what's called a okazu. The okazu would be the meat, fish, vegetables, tofu. Pickled vegetables was very common. Asians had a lot of different kinds of pickled vegetables. They would take their okazu side and they would put it on the ground. And as you can see here, it's all in the center. And then everybody would then, as you can see, these gentlemen, they're holding the right side. And with their chopsticks or their forks, they would then share each other's foods. What that experience, I think, has taught us is that we've learned that to live harmoniously in a multicultural community or society, we need to understand and respect each other. And the only way we can do that is by getting to know each other. And we've also learned from our history is that culture and values are a product of shared experience. So while all of these individuals, the first generation, were of different ethnic groups and different culture, by living and working together, sharing the food, and having shared experience, the next generation, or the second and third generations, they created a culture, which today we call a local people. So, irregardless of what your ethnic background, we all a little Japanese, we all a little Hawaiian, we all a little Filipino, because that has been our family. And it started in a plantation or in a segregated community by this little Kaukau Tin.